we're sorry for all of the delays. Rufai Seni, good morning to you.
Let's go straight to it. I heard what you were saying the time before the network acted in a way.
Okay.
See, we can't condone this level of wastes. And I know government has been trying to push back by saying many private institutions and other institutions went there and they took their own people to COP. If you go and check that list, there were people that went there as confidant to the president. In what capacity is a confidant to the president going to COP? There are people that went there as ministers and aides to the ministers. Why are we going to have so many amounts of ministers going to COP? So the government does not have any way to get out of this. They need to be able to explain to us in detail and tell us how much the ESTA code money costs for those that went with the government contingent. So why are we having such a huge number of people when we have our own pressing problems here? It's just been a jamboree. As far as I'm concerned, it's just been a jamboree. You could still articulate your position to the UN and the COP, the Committee of Nations, and still make your climate stand known, positions known. Not just everybody going there as a tea party or a jamboree and all of that. During COVID, didn't people do remote conferencing? What has this country become? We are only about waste. We waste too much. No productivity in our at all. Waste here and there.
You know, one of the arguments that they put forward is that some of the ministers that went there to seek investment, people to partner with, went there to sell their ministries.
Where is investment? That's the life of this life. We are going to sell. Was that not how in Nigerians that ITA, the only thing we to say there is kishi and dry fruits? We mock ourselves. Tomorrow, what investment are we going to seek? What investment are we going to seek? We're playing with fire. Amidst all of this, I saw that they want to increase the salary. For what effects? To what effects? To what effects? We need to do better. I'm sorry. We need to do better.
Yeah.
We need to do better. We're not doing good at all.
Yeah. The president has explained, and it's like they will keep explaining because a lot of people are not buying it. Now let's move on to other stories here, and let's wait to see whether we're going to get more response from the president in terms of the explanation. And we have here that Jakba Hospital reduced outpatient surgeries as 4,000 doctors migrate. And also the U.S. envoy has said that over 150,000 Nigerians applied for the U.S. visa this year.
I remember I was on talking to the U.S. Embassy Charge d'Affaires when he said that thing on the air. So it's the sad reality of our country we've become. I thought a former minister said it's even good for doctors to go and leave the country. But I'm sure he's beginning to see the problems now. Funny enough, I was with that same minister recently, and I asked him that question again. And he said, Rufai, I'm no longer serving. I said, see, you can see what's happening today. Complete wards in hospitals are already being shut down. All the doctors, they are not only living abroad, they are going to bring extra where they I will have people us about to pay doctors better than us thinking about to increase the salary of leaders and presidents and things like that. Maybe we can't afford this level of books we keep doing everything. And the problem is our leaders who they don't understand that this level of waste is not much of disaster and destruction.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that some of the doctors are even moving to some other African countries, not just US.
They are alone. That's where they're going. They are alone. That's where they're going. They are going to abroad. They are going to UK, US, Canada, Australia. It's very alone. Some of the doctors are doing for better pay. Have a big problem on our hands. We keep
And another news here says that reject Wike's 15 billion naira befitting residence for the vice president. Sarah urges Senate. The 15 billion naira befitting residence is in the news this morning.
If the Senate is wise, we don't need to urge them. They need to reject in entirety. See, number 10 Downing Street is about 300 years. Have you ever heard them say they want to build a new house for the British Prime Minister? Every British Prime Minister that comes to Downing Street complains that that house is strong. You will never hear the British government say, can they afford it if they want to? Yes. Britain is way bigger economy than Nigeria. Britain collects close to billions and billions in revenue. The NHS alone, the budget of their healthcare system alone, is worth a sizable chunk, or even more than our own budget here. But you will never hear them say they want to build a new house for the Prime Minister. All they will say is, that one will renovate. They've never ever said that 24 Sussex streets, the core of the Prime Minister of Canada, has been abandoned for a while now. You know why? They can't agree. Any Prime Minister that tries to renovate it, he knows he's going to fall into problems with the people because people are going to complain over the amount. Then you are seeing what is happening now. That all of a sudden they want to. It's not that the vice president doesn't have a place to stay in. He has a place that he's staying and all of that. Just because they are so wasteful. They still want to continue with the waste. It's sad. Very sad.
Yes, it is. And finally, students should be given grants and not loan. ASU has finally spoken about the loan, saying that what the students really need, what they need is not the loan but a grant.
As I was trying to ask, I think what the students even need is to invest more in the universities, helping the universities, making them standard, all right, and subsidizing. Because see, this student loan will just bring back another level of bad debts, and it will further increase the unbearable level of debt stock. It will open room for lack of accountability, and it's not going to be well run. It's going to bring about a lot of problems. How about that 5-10 billion? Have it scheme when you still compete to the university system, and you can give them as grants. All right, just like how they used to do back in days. Or you can call it what we call an education support program. So that's a better investment grant, because you know when you give them the education support program, all you just need to do is you go to their schools and they just write for it, and then when they qualify for it, you pay it as a part or as a chunk, of their fees. You can even do it such a way that you can spread it to the tenure of the academic year. So rather than them paying 100% fees, they can be paying 40% fees. It's better that way, because you are just going to bring a lot of problems. There's going to be a massive default rate. A massive default rate. Because you are saying, when they get, where are the jobs? Where's the sustainability? Where are these things about the economy? And these are the things we keep saying. In the middle of this, FG is to increase salaries of presidents to 8.1 million, according to what the Gazette is reporting this morning. So in all of this that we are saying, these people don't even have empathy. It's always about themselves alone. What kind of country are we building? Our leaders should ask themselves, this Nigeria they are building, can they bequeath it to the generation yet unborn? And they will help us more.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rufal Seni, for the analysis.
Bless you.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you've seen Peter Obi's statement on the whole Dubai thing and the number of delegates that Nigeria took to Dubai, that the illegitimate president, had packed together to go to Dubai. But the statement is so funny, and the kind of words in it. Peter Obi is the kind of person that will first of all yab you, and it will take you time to understand that you will be yabbed. But let me just go ahead and actually read the statement. It says, in a twist of sad irony, let me congratulate the giant of Africa, Nigeria, for matching the great China with the same number of contingents at the ongoing COP28 in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Nigeria's contingent to COP28 totaled 1,411, the same number as the Chinese contingent. While China, this is where statistics, so he brought his usual statistics. While China's budget for 2024 is about $4 trillion, which is about $2,860 per head, Nigeria's budget is about $33 billion, which is about $165 per head. Can you imagine? Just see the difference. We are really such a poor country. Yeah? And yet, with such reckless spending. Anyway, it says, China has a high Human Development Index with a ranking of 79 out of 191 countries measured. And Nigeria has a high Human Development Index with a ranking of 163 out of 191 countries measured. Nigeria has more people living in multi-dimensional poverty than China, despite China having 7 times our population. Most importantly, the vast majority of those in the Nigerian delegation to COP28 are either non-relevant civil servants or relations, friends and hanger-ons of higher government officials. I need to read that again because I know read that way. What? It said, most importantly, the vast majority of those in the Nigerian delegation to COP28 are either non-relevant civil servants or relations, friends, and hanger-ons of high government officials. Most of them hardly understand or have anything to do with climate change. This huge contingent is out at public expense at a time when most Nigerians can hardly afford food and basic needs as a result of economic hardship. I pray earnestly that a day will come soon enough when we can focus on competing with China on productivity and the miracle of migrating the highest number of citizens out of poverty over a relatively short time. As we have kept emphasizing, we must stop waste as a tradition of our government and nation. We urgently need to cut the cost of governance and invest in production. We need to de-emphasize unnecessary ceremony and showmanship as a mode of government behavior. We need to tie spending to necessity and national priority. A new Nigeria is possible. We only need to do the reasonable and the necessary. P.O. That's how he normally signs off his statements when he's the one that has done it. Honestly, that statement sort of like, even though we laugh about it, it packs so much into it. It says so much. How are we? Just imagine where every one person in China with the GDP. Let me go back and see what the exact. Let me go back and get the exact amount. With over 2,000, and yet we are here with our meager $165 per head, and we're busy spending money anyhow. It doesn't make sense in any way, honestly. It just doesn't make sense. And so it's so serious. It's crazy. It's crazy with the poverty, with the hardship, with all the things. There's so much audacity from the people, you know, who from these corrupt politicians who think they can do and undo, and they've been getting away with it, but they can't get away with it forever. You understand? A lot of things are going on in this cause. People are suffering. It's just that the how do I put it? That whole hardship or whatever, it's more directed at the common citizens who are already suffering. Because when they say Nigerians don't react, there are a lot of Nigerians who are reacting. All of these atrocities you see happening, all of this, kidnapping has turned to like a normal thing in Nigeria. Just that people don't talk about it anymore. Almost everywhere, there's almost like a media blackout on it. And then we have people using such money when people are dying. People are literally dying because of hunger, because of lack of good roads, lack of electricity, lack of good medical system, healthcare system, and all of that. And yet we have people who are just just gallivanting up and down, just spending. But how do you carry 1,411 people to Dubai? How? Then there's another one, some organizations, some parastatals that are both in Abuja, their offices are both in Abuja. They went all the way to Dubai to go and be doing some signs. I'm going to do a separate video on that one. It's just so crazy. It's just so crazy with all the things that are going on in our country, with all the hardship that is going on. You see people, literally, people can't feed, people can't do things. People are just falling down. See the frustration. There was this thing that was shown you, which day is it? There's this video where some people were just hitting their cars they see somewhere in Lagos, just destroying their cars. People are frustrated and they're taking out their frustration on their fellow citizens. Meanwhile, the people who have put so much hardship on Nigerians, they are there gallivanting and just doing whatever they want to do because they feel that they own everywhere. Carrying non-relevant civil servants, friends, family, relations, and all of that. Tinubu is there. I think the impostor Tinubu has about 2 family members, 2 of his children or something like that. All sorts of people just being there on the list because it's there to be. Of what relevance is that their trip to the nation? Absolutely nothing.
In a video trending online, Tinubu was seen entering the venue of the COP28 ahead of the president and his very large entourage. Apart from the cost of flight, it is also a normal practice by the Nigerian government to give ESTA codes to delegates who travel with it to different events. Now, according to investigations, ministers are paid $900 per day as ESTA code, which amounts to $11,700 per minister for the 13 days. Permanent secretaries get $600, amounting to $7,800 for the same period. Officers of levels 15 to 17 receive $425, amounting to $5,525 in total. Levels 7 to 14 get $381, amounting to $4,953, and levels 1 to 6 get $206, amounting to $2,678 for the 13 days. Experts say it is unfortunate that the government does not recognize the importance of cutting down the high cost of governance. It has to borrow almost 100% to fund its budget. Nigeria is planning to spend 27.5 trillion naira in 2024, out of which the non-debt recurrent expenditure is 9.92 trillion naira, while debt service is projected to be 8.25 trillion naira and capital expenditure is 8.7 trillion naira. Millions of Nigerians have been plunged into poverty since Mr. Tinubu assumed office in late May and promptly cut off petrol subsidies that have been in place to mitigate poverty since 1970s. The Nigerian leader argued that the subsidies had become unsustainable in recent years, but failed to implement measures that would help feed the poor across the country. Nigeria, with its 200 million population, was already designated as the country with the largest number of people living in poverty, surpassing India with 1.4 billion people in 2017. It is noteworthy to state, in September, the president spent over $500,000 on a hotel stay in Manhattan while attending the United Nations General Assembly event. In a previous trip to India and the UAE in October, the president spent over $1 million with his retinue of aides. Most of the funds went into the hotel bookings and private jets. Many aides often receive escorts in dollars despite the country's acute dollar shortage that have worsened inflation numbers in recent years. The presidency hasn't reacted to this latest development, but Bashir Ahmed, who was also listed in the delegation to the UAE, tweeted moments ago. He states, quote, "It is honorable to clarify that not all Nigerian delegates attending COP28 in Dubai are sponsored by the federal government. As a duly nominated delegate myself, I can attest that many individuals, including myself, are representing Nigeria independently. Our involvement is not tied to government sponsorship," the tweet read in part. Meanwhile, Nigerian social media space was agog on Saturday after the likes of Toke Makinwa, IBTC and Tinubu made it to the list of 1,411 attendees from Nigeria for the conference of the parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change COP28. The list sparked reactions from many Nigerian netizens as they claimed that President Bola Tinubu's administration sponsored the 1,411 attendees for the COP28 Climate Summit in Dubai. The presence of Toke's name on the list appeared to have since stirred controversies, as some netizens claimed that she was at the event as an item 7, known as refreshment in Nigeria for the bigwigs. Here are what they are saying. The media personality who reveals she was still scared of her mom as an adult has since responded to backlash for being part of Bola Tinubu's delegate team to Dubai. Defending her presence, Toke wrote on COP28's global significance in addressing climate change, featuring world leaders and industry influencers. She says, quote, "When world leaders, royalty, climate change advocates and industry game changers gather to meet in Dubai to discuss how to save the planet, hashtag COP28, may your name be what the whole country decides to trend. Amen. See you all at COP30 in Rio. Signed, item 7, COP28 Dubai." Let us know what you think in the comments section. We'd love to hear from you.